Welcome back to the Moyne Way Podcast, where we explore the people, ideas, and everyday moments that shape life here at Moyne College. Told through authentic stories, open conversations, and the spirit that makes this community one of purpose and belonging. Thanks for joining me, your host, Isaiah Salter, this week on the Moyne Way Podcast. And I am blessed to be in the presence of the one and only Nathan Hanzalik. I was working on your last name all night, so we got it. How you doing,
Perfect.
brother?
You did good. Good.
Thank
How
you.
about you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Just enjoying this change of weather.
I know. I love it.
We've been needing that.
My mood's better.
Yes, I know.
It's just I love the warm weather.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
my favorite.
So we were just talking a little bit off camera before we started, but just kind of about how you started certain things, and that's kind of where I want to begin this conversation. Is tell me a little bit about kind of your upbringing. You know, where you're from, and what were those childhood experiences like that kind of shaped, you know, your mindset and perspective, and just how you carried yourself throughout life.
Sure. No, that's I know. I enjoyed the conversation. So, when I'm from Binghamton, New York, which is Endicott, which is outside of Binghamton. A lot of people know Binghamton. So, it's a good sized town. I went to Union Endicott School District. Grew up with a large family. 4 brothers, 2 sisters. 3 brothers, 2 sisters.
So big you forgot.
There's too many of them that I do that. 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and so it was kind of almost like we all did our own thing, but then all came together. So I developed a close relationship with my grandfather when I was young. I lived with them, my grandma and grandpa, for 2 years when I was young. So I always had that bond of outside doing things, and kind of that's when I knew I wanted to be a leader in some sort and do different things with business, of learning from him. He had a miniature golf course that he sold in 2011, so I kind of grew up in that aspect of seeing that. I'm like, this is cool. I want to do something like that. So over the time, I think when I was 12 years old, me and my brother Evan started a little company called the Lawn Cutters. So we had a couple lawns in the neighborhood that we were doing, and we agreed to disagree. So we decided that we're not going to do it together anymore. So he wanted me to buy out the lawnmower for $75.
Yeah,
so I did that, and then I started to mow some lawns around a lawn care business around my grandfather's house. My grandfather retired, and
After the golf course business?
after the golf course,
Okay.
but he had another career as well.
Okay.
But he retired, and I said to him, Papa, why don't we start a lawn care business? I think he looked at me like I was crazy at first. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, we could do it. He had an old trailer there and a lawnmower and a tractor, so we would use that. But he goes, okay, we're going to do this, and we named it C&H Lawn Care. So it's Colin Hanzalik. His
Okay.
last name, my last name, and my middle name is Cole. So we decided to do a couple lawns in the neighborhood and go elsewhere throughout the community. We had 15 lawns, 20 lawns, started to do a little landscaping. He always told me, I want you to have skin in the game. I want you to not wake up on a hot summer day in the summer and say, I don't want to do this. And then we have all this equipment. So he taught me that from a young age, that we need to work for what we want. And it's not just handed to you. So we charged a zero turn, would pay it back before we made any money. Did that, and then we had about 30 lawns.
Wow.
I says, Papa, why don't we get into the seal coating business?
And
Are
what
you
was
crazy?
what
He's
was your
gonna
mindset around like what made you think of seal coating?
So kind of outdoor work. We
Okay.
had the truck and stuff. So what kind of one kind of connects together? So we could do lawn care, but you can also do seal coating.
Okay.
So we did driveways and stuff. And so it was 2020 then. We got an LLC, everything. Business really started to grow. I said, well, let's get into the seal coating. And he goes, well, I want to have a list of customers before we start. So I went out knocking on the doors, had about 30 driveways lined up, ready to go. He says, okay, we'll buy the trailer, we'll get the tank on it, paid it back. So it's working towards that stuff in the next step. So over those years, the business started to grow. I started to get involved in other things in the community with working at the Church of the Holy Family, um, volunteering at Mercy House of the Southern Tier. So I was getting involved in many different places in the community, and I'm like, I like this kind of broad um, portfolio of doing different things. And I had to make a decision about college. So it comes 2024. I'm like, do I want to go away? Do I want to stay home and grow this business? It was a hard decision because at that time, June of 2024, we had 85 lawns we were doing a week.
Wow.
We ended up buying a 550 gallon tank. We're doing parking lots and driveways, landscaping. So the company was growing significantly, and I said to Papa, "Well, what if we sold the lawn care, kept the seal coating, and I do go away?" He goes, "Is that what you want?" And I says, "I think so. Let me look into it." So, like I said, I'm still involved in the other stuff that I do, and I says it would kind of help because seal coating starts in late May because of the weather. Can end around August. I could still come back on the weekends and do it. So I had to make that decision. Do I keep the seal coating and sell the lawn care? So Michael, Adrian, Owen's my brother. Michael and Adrian are two of my friends. They all worked for me. I like to say worked with me. I don't like to put the
Gotcha.
for me. And Michael was going to Broome Community College, and he says, I'm interested in this. He's been with me the longest, and he decided to buy the 85 lawns. So he took over right before I left for college. So it worked out perfect now. So now it's been 2 years, which is crazy to do that. So that's a little about from how I got to where I am right now and some of the perspectives of what's happened.
Yeah. What was the toughest thing about business in that experience? Like, what was the toughest thing you learned, or the toughest thing you had to experience about starting a business and the ins and outs of how it works and stuff? Like, what was some of those experiences?
There's a lot of them that go on. First of all, it's outdoor business, so the weather.
Okay.
You plan something one day, rains for 3, can't do it, puts you behind scheduling. But I really loved to schedule and connect with the customers. That was one of my biggest perspectives from when I went out and passion. Like connecting with the customer, a lot of people will say is hard because everyone wants something different.
Yeah.
But that's really what I love to do.
Mm.
My grandfather always says when he would come around the house on a zero turn, he'd see me on the back porch talking to the customer, asking them what they need. Do they need anything else? What could we do for you? So that was my favorite part. But hardest was probably weather, equipment breaks down, keeping up to date on bookkeeping and stuff. So, but there's always the odds and ends of the little stuff, and it's never a dull moment.
Yeah. And you mentioned your grandfather a lot. He was like a very prominent figure in your life. What does that relationship mean to you, the one you have with your papa?
It means a lot. He's taught me a lot. He's taught me so much from a young age of working at the caddy shack, helping him blow off the holes, to doing the mulch outside of his house or up at the lake, or even just from I just got the phone with him before I came here. Just throughout the days of doing things, and that's kind of where I got my go-getter, if you could say that, of wanting to do things and get involved, and hard work ethic was from seeing that and growing up. And a lot of my family's like that as well, so that's always helped.
You saw that go-getter mentality, and you kind of took that upon yourself. What made you want to go into business with your papa instead of doing it on your own?
So I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't drive.
Oh, because you were young at the time, right? I be forgetting.
So I was 12 years old at that time. So he would use his car. We put a trailer hitch on it. He could complain a little bit about it when there's a dent in it, but because of the trailer. But we used that. But then we started to grow, and just from everything of people within the community within Endicott and Binghamton and the Southern Tier are really wonderful people, and to be able to work with them and get to know them, that's what was really wonderful about it. And I've learned that connection from Papa to kind of connect with the community and do different things. And there's been a lot of role models that are in my life, and
Yeah.
another one, well, figures I'm sure you've heard me talk about is Father Clarence Rumble. um, he's pastor of Holy Family and Holy Rosary in Endwell, founder of Mercy House, and I've grew up in the parish and the church since I was little as an altar server, and growing up with getting more involved with the fish dinners and the bazaar and events that go on, and helping him for what he needs to. I think I talked to him yesterday. It's been since 2022 I've done their website and social media.
Wow.
And then I got more involved, and for the last couple of years I've been the chairperson of the bazaar. So just about from his dedication to service and stuff has been a whole role model to me. But how do you take that faith or service and also put it into a business perspective of caring for the customers, working with them, and ask them what they need and help them for that? So it's kind of the broad things that I'm involved in is really kind of connected together.
Wow.
For it.
That's such a mature mindset to learn at your age, because a lot of people, especially when they start business, it's very money focused. I'm just trying to get a bag, for a lack of a better term. I'm just trying to, get success, and you can kind of overlook those little details that really lead to having a successful and growing business. A lot of people say in any business, we'll use lawn care. It's not a lawn care. I'm not in the lawn care business. I'm in the people business. You know what I mean? And something that I've learned from being around you is how much you do care about people and service, and really providing that hospitality to people. Like you said, that came from just the people that you looked up to, stuff. And also I heard you mention Endicott, like the community there is very community centered and service centered. So you think a lot of that came from the community that you were in and just seeing it and being a part of it?
I think so. There's so many people within the Broome County area, Southern Tier, Endicott, that care for each other, are there for each other, want to help. And just by seeing that in my church community at Church of the Holy Family in Endwell is like that as well. It's a large parish with probably 1,400 families. So seeing everyone involved and seeing how to be a person for and with others and be there for one another is really probably came from my community.
And I'm really intrigued to know, how has your faith developed since you first got introduced to faith in whatever way that looks for you? But I think when we're young and we get introduced to faith, it's more of something that we're put into, and as we grow, it kind of becomes something that we take on for ourselves. So, speak about how much faith has played a role in your life and how it's transformed into where you are now, where you kind of hold it dear to yourself.
Sure. So, like I said, growing up, I would go to Holy Family with my family or my grandparents every 4 o'clock on Saturday. So growing up, then I said to Father Clarence, well, I want to be an altar server. I want to get involved. So then I started to be a part of the Mass, a part of the celebration. And by learning from that, it's taken time over the years to really understand a lot of it and get involved. And then I also went to faith formation classes throughout the parish, so you start to learn a lot about it. But then a lot of times you make that decision right when confirmation happens. I had confirmation in 10th grade, and then after confirmation, you are fully a member of the church community, and you have your own decision normally. So my family's been a big faith believer and going to Holy Family and doing those kinds of things. So it's kind of been, we grew up with it, but then also I took that on myself after. By connecting with the students. I always like to say service is faith. It leads you. Without faith, you won't have the works, but with the works, you will have faith, is what I like to say. Wow. And with being in 11th and 12th grade, I even helped with our confirmation and faith formation program because we were in staffing issues. So by teaching it and being a role model kind of has helped develop my faith along the time, and even coming here at Moyne, which we can talk about that story.
Yeah.
And how it's still a part of my everyday life, and how to live out your faith as a student, how to live out your faith as a human being, or how to live out your faith in a workplace. That you're in.
When you were in high school, did you ever feel like not in a bad way, like isolated, because I don't feel like a lot of high schoolers are running their own business or putting themselves out there or doing, things the way you were doing. So I feel like what you were doing was of somebody of much older age,
Mm-hmm.
but you were doing it in high school, when people are worried about sports and,
Mm-hmm.
going to events and going out and doing certain things. And you're kind of focused on your path. Like, what was that experience like as far as connecting with other peers while you're doing things that maybe not everybody is doing?
Right. So I played EYB baseball for a couple of years.
Okay.
I played CYO basketball to my junior year.
Okay.
Um, Little bit of sports stuff, but it really wasn't my thing. I enjoyed it. I
Hmm.
enjoyed the community that was there. But you're right when it says it was difficult to connect with different peers um, and how to connect with a friend group because they're going to do things or they're enjoying their summer at the lake and I'm
Mm.
out working or kind of doing certain things. So Michael is someone that I really connected with because we were alike in that aspect. Of course, there's so many friends that I had in the school district where I was, but really that bond and connection um, was difficult to make because they were doing their own thing. They weren't doing the things that I were doing, or I would be working all the time.
Hmm.
So I did have a lot of memories with a lot of the friends, but really the connection with the friends and the people that really I connect with happen here at Lemoyne,
Yeah.
and those are my like close friends and people that I call family
Hmm.
and like that. So it was difficult over the time to connect with people that are my own age or peers. I know I have so many friends that are older and always go out with them or go to dinner, or
Yeah. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
different things, and I love that because I've learned that's how I've learned so much from them.
Hmm.
But then being able to come away and really connect as a student here has really helped me develop those friendships.
Wow. Yeah, and speak on your how you got to Lemoyne. Like, what's that whole story?
So I was had an opportunity to come away to college, and I had to decide: do I want to stay home or go away?
Hmm.
I came down to my decisions. I went and looked at Albany. Didn't like it. It felt too walking through like a city almost, like
Okay.
not like concretey
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
even know if that's a word, but it
I
was
don't think
like
it is, but
concrete
we're gonna
blocks
use
all
it.
over the
Yeah. All
place.
right. There we go. Yeah.
Um, and then I went. There's Broome Community College. It's a 2-year. There's Binghamton University, Lemoyne,
Hmm.
and Scranton.
Mm.
I came down to the decision. I went and visited Scranton or Lemoyne, and this was 2024. Probably, I want to say February when I really started to think about it. So it was later in
Hmm.
time. And in March, I lost my older brother Evan, and I remembered coming back to the February conversation with he said, "I wish I went away to college. You should as well. I want you to have the opportunity."
Wow.
And I said, "Okay." So I started. And then it was between Lemoyne and Scranton. Went and visited Scranton Jesuit College, um, Catholic Christian school. I liked that, but it was not for me. I couldn't see myself there. I drove to Lemoyne. It was by myself.
Mm.
Came to visit here
Wow.
because it was in the middle of the week. My mom's a teacher. My dad has to work,
Did you set up a visit?
and I set up a
Okay. Okay.
visit.
Okay. So you came by yourself.
And I was walking up the quad, so I parked over by, as Lemoyne community people know, Harrison Mary's over there. Walked up the quad up the street, and I felt this is a community. This is home. This is like it just felt like home. That's really what it was. I could see myself here. And then I started to explore more about the college, the business school, the chapel. I love the chapel, campus ministries, and the Grace Center now for Faith and Community of everything that they've done. And from my experiences in working at the church office and doing those things, I could see myself going away, being here,
Mm.
but then also as being a student here. So is also as it being home.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my journey that led me up to Lemoyne.
Mm.
And of course, there's so many great, amazing mentors that are here at Lemoyne. President Limera, she's wonderful. You go from Barb Carper, who's been here for a
Yeah, shout
while.
out to Barb.
Kasha's there. Father Lenane, I've grown close with. Um, there's just amazing
A lot of good
people that are here at Moyne College that care for you and
Hmm.
want you to succeed.
Absolutely. And we don't have to go into detail or anything, but I think you have a very unique perspective on this because you've experienced it. But could you maybe offer some advice or just some insight or whatever comes to your heart on dealing with loss? Because I feel like a lot of people deal with it and don't know how to navigate it or feel like they're isolated in it. And you experienced it at a very young age in a very tough way. So, like I said, we don't have to go in detail, but
Sure.
just maybe speak on like your experience with losing someone close to you and just what you would advise for other people
Right.
through that journey.
Right. Um, so it's been 2 years now. So it's been a journey. It flew by, but it feels like a long time. Um, at that time, my family was a mess. Obviously, we all were surprised with what happened, shocked. Why did God do this? But then you start to think about give God your burdens. He will be there for you. He didn't do this intentionally. Um, I was at that point that I knew I needed to help and stay strong, so I held it all in
Wow.
and helped plan everything at that time. So it was a different perspective like that. But then let it out at times. It's okay to let it out and talk to someone that has experienced it. You can connect with that. But like I said, give God your burdens and just let it out.
Mm.
And it's something that is, the loved one's always with you um, at all times. So think about those memories, think about those moments. Um, it's not been easy, but you get through it with what it is. So you want to make that person proud. So I always like to see,
Mm.
okay, am I doing this? Will it make them happy? Which, for example, my family started a golf tournament last year to donate back to charity. This year's the second annual one. So do something for the community and kind of live out that person um, and keep them living and alive here. So I thought that was always a good perspective to look at it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Like just carrying on the legacy. Like I love what you said about keeping them living, through spirit, through our actions, through how we show up
Mhm.
and treat other people. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
think that's everything, and that's something that I admire about you, just the way you treat people and the way you carry yourself. What was your first? So yeah, you came to Lemoyne on a visit. Obviously, you left, and it's natural to have expectations of what you think it's going to be like. You have all these things. Oh, I can't wait. All this stuff going on in your mind. What was the uh, experience when you first got here, and how did it, open your eyes? And was it much different than what you expected, or was it kind of aligned with what you expected?
I didn't know what to
Okay.
expect at all.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I got college courses. I'm living away from home,
For the
which
first time.
which for the first time, which
Okay.
I was okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I knew I was coming in. I had my own room, which was nice, so I
Yeah.
didn't have to have a roommate.
Yeah.
But coming in, I lived in St. Mary's, third floor.
Mm-hmm.
I got here, my parents left, and I was like, wow, now what?
Mm.
But then going through the floor program, meeting my friends that lived on the floor, who I live with this year and next year, I will be meeting the people here. The people here are special. They care about you. Their family is like I said earlier, and just by knowing that we're in this together, no one's experienced this before of going to the dean events and orientation. But then you really started to connect with people and people started to talk. And then the president comes running in and gives her talk. We know, wow, we are cared about here. And then just after that, it starts to develop. And then there's the first day of classes. And then it's the end of the semester and all of those memories back. And then there's new people and friends. And then you meet other people. And then now we got 1 week left
Crazy.
of my second year done, and it flew by. But all of those experiences was not what I've expected coming into Lemoyne.
Yeah,
But it's been amazing.
absolutely. And do you think from your freshman year to sophomore year, you grew a lot?
I did.
In what ways?
I always used to. This is a funny little thing. I've always been comfortable of giving a presentation or talking to people that are older than me. But I've always got nervous, even in school, of talking with people my age, my peers. But over that year, I've learned God created me for who I am and all of us. Don't be nervous. What am I afraid about? Talk to one another. Talk to someone. Don't be scared to get up and give a presentation. So I've grown with that a lot in my life. I used to overthink a lot and overthink, what does that person think of me? Or what does that person think that I'm going to say, or perspective? But who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares about it? And be open, be yourself. That's when you be yourself, that's what people see in other people, is they know when you're your true self or putting an act on or whatever.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. And that's such an important point. And I think it's a balance of like putting yourself out there and doing the thing you're afraid of, but also rooting yourself in the perspective and mindset that, hey, like, be yourself. What am I afraid of? Like, these emotions that I'm feeling are because something's wrong or because I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, and things like that. So I think it is a balance of doing that. And Lemoyne is such a beautiful place because it gives you those experiences and or it gives you the avenues and environments to have those experiences that can help.
It's true.
Shape you and things like that. So yeah, that's a very exciting thing. What are you most looking forward to in your life currently?
What am I most looking forward to in my life currently? I like going through it's hard not to think ahead of what my life's going to, but what am I looking forward to at this moment right now is summer's coming up, so the warm weather. But the next 2 years here at Lemoyne, I'm looking forward to. Of just from all the experiences that I've had these last 2 years, I couldn't imagine what the next two are. I'm looking forward. I'm trying to think which way to go with this. There's there's so many events that I'm planning that are going on that I'm looking forward to for the summer, or church events, or working with nonprofits within the community is another one of my jobs that I do. And I love my life and I love everything about it. So I'm looking forward to just being right here, right now.
And you love to serve.
Yeah.
What is it about service that you love so much?
So service, I always like to say, like I said, service is faith. But it's just a part of who I am, I guess. And I don't like to say that talk about myself like that, but it's just, I've never looked at service as work. It's something that is just a part of us. All of us have it. But it's about hearing that calling, and taking the initiative to do that. So I just love to be able to help one another, help the person that may be homeless, help the person that's having a bad day. Sitting and talking with a friend is even service, when you're just sitting there and talking with a friend that may need you there at that moment. So I just love being able to help the other person succeed and grow.
I love that. It's like it's one of those things that it's this beautiful synergy that when you help, you also get help.
Right.
It's like you're pouring into somebody else, but in that act, you're getting poured into.
Right.
And it makes you want to keep on.
Keeps going.
Keep on.
We
going.
all have it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you definitely have to speak on it. When did you get involved with Put God First?
So, Put God First has a mission: feed God's sheep, shelter the homeless, and fill the churches back up. So it's been 2024, right before college, I started to work with them on this project
Mm-hmm.
and the initiatives of our mission. So it's been a journey, and I love being able to help its service. It really is of being. It's not work; it's having fun, and be able to work towards um, helping local community, helping the local community, or anything around it.
Absolutely. Um, what's your favorite thing about Lemoyne?
Favorite thing about Lemoyne, I would have to say the people here.
Really, from top to bottom.
Of course, the view is nice. You can see it in the, but the no, the people here really, and the faith here on campus,
Mm,
and God's presence everywhere here.
yeah, you could
You can
really
see
feel
it.
it. Yeah, you see it, you feel it, you
Hmm.
experience it. I think it's awesome that too, like being at a Jesuit school, like you have Jesuits on
Hmm.
campus. I think
It's
that's
awesome.
it's a very overlooked thing, an underrated blessing that we have. You know what I mean? You don't
Hmm.
realize the profoundness of it until you come across, a
Right.
Jesuit or a father, and you're talking to
That's
them, and it's
true.
like, dang, like, and we have this. A lot of colleges don't have this.
Right.
You know what I
They're all
mean?
unique, and that's different. We all
1,000,
are.
1,000. What's an area in your life that you're currently working on? Not that it's something you struggle with, not that it's a bad thing, just something that you're really giving a lot of energy and focus to in your life on wanting to build or wanting to cultivate more.
Sure. I would say I'm always looking to grow my faith, to really dive in and understand and read more with that and understand, because I always have a busy schedule or doing all these things and never stop.
Mm.
But I really need to take that moment and take time and reflect and grow, um, and not just go through the whole day and not rest or reflect at all. So really looking into doing more of that is
Mm.
something that I've been trying to work towards, and even throughout the day, pause at different times. And what does God have me doing right now? We don't have to be perfect, but be present, be totally present in any situation, is what I always love to say and or think. And that's probably what I would say is grow even more closer to my faith in God.
Why do you think reflection is so important?
I think I know the here at a Jesuit school. I've never heard of the word or never heard of examine until I came here. Of just taking time to reflect before bed, and really, I think it's important because you look back at your whole day. What went good? What went bad? What could I improve on? Um, what are my goals? Even I always say, where did I see God today in my life? You see it everywhere. Um, I know reflection is I always reflect back at home because I'm involved with Mercy House of the Southern Tier. It's a home for the terminal ill for those that are spending their final days here on final days here, but surrounded with dignity and compassion. And I always love that is where did I see God today? There's residents that are there that you grow close with, or there's one that in particular that didn't speak English, but she still didn't have any family there, but still wanted someone.
Mm.
So I grew close to her when she was there and helped her for what she needs, sat there for hours with her. And it's just by developing that God's presence with you. Um, so,
Wow, that's very, very, very deep,
mhm.
very deep. And so, basically, with the Mercy House, it's people who are
Right.
about to pass over.
They're on hospice and they're
Hospice.
terminal ill, but they still want, they not necessarily want to die, pass away at home, but Mercy House is a home for you for them to come, and you're surrounded with compassion, dignity. It's a home like setting, so it's peaceful.
Mm.
People are there, the volunteers. Um, it's almost like many people might have heard of Francis House here
Mm-hmm.
in Syracuse, but Mercy House is 16-bed facility in Endicott, founded by Father Clarence Rumble.
Wow.
And it's amazing there.
What has being around people who are on the brink of transition or passing over uh, made you appreciate more about life?
to live your life without hesitation, meaning if you want to do something, work towards it and do it. Um, I've talked to many people who have been transitioning. Every day is different in their life or in their stage that's there, and they've told me their experiences of um, what they've done in life or what they wish they would have done, or most of them are happy of how they are and they're ready. It's That's how you know God's with them. God's with everyone. Um, but one thing that I would say is being around those that are transitioning is they want the loved ones around them. They want people that they love. They're not wanting or always talking about a award they got or what their career was or how successful they have been. It's for the love that they have for one another and the love that's around them. And that's what we all should do, is to live out our faith or live out our life with love for one another and compassion and caring.
Yeah, they did a study. I think it was a Harvard study. It's the last thing before we get into the fast round questions. But they did a study where they followed people for like 20 years of their life all the way to the end or something. Or like when they were young all the way to the end. And they asked all these people that were part of the study, like, what matters most? You know, what's the keys to a good life? And the top answer, the number one priority, was healthy relationships. You know, the people that you're around. You know, it didn't have to do with the money that they made or the awards or accolades that they achieved. It had more to do with the people that were around them, the types of experiences that they had with other people. You know, so you just kind of spoke to that, which is just a beautiful reminder to appreciate the little things and the people that are in your life. You know what I mean? Really appreciate them. You know, because not everybody, just like everything else in life, everything is temporary. You know, so you got to appreciate it. But
it's true.
But that's it for the main conversation. I'm really excited to get into the fast round to hear what some of your answers are. So, yeah, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first fast round question is coffee or tea?
Coffee.
I knew that.
You knew that.
I should have answered for it.
You knew that.
Morning person or night owl?
That's hard.
Yeah.
I would say both. I'm more of a night person.
Okay.
But I do like to get up early.
Yeah.
When I do, I feel more productive.
Okay.
So it's both. I'm still figuring that out.
Okay.
Of what works best.
You're a morning owl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Favorite spot on campus?
Favorite spot on campus? I would say the chapel.
Okay. What's a book, podcast, or show that you would recommend to other students?
Book, podcast, or show? I would go. It's a hard one. I gotta get better at reading.
It could be anything.
Book, podcast, or show? I would say there's a book that I started to read that's called Jesus CEO, which is unique about how business people or leaders can have faith a part of the business with that. There's more. I need to open it. I have opened it, but I need to dive deeper in it. But that's one that I think is very interesting, like that. Or I would say the daily reflection. That's Jesus calling. That it's a short passage every day, and every day's differently, and it's reflective. I love that.
Those
Jesus
books
calling.
are the best.
It is.
You know, those books are the best. Who or what inspires you most right now?
Who inspires me the most right now? My family, I would have to say. I know it's probably generic, but my family, of what they've gone through and what they've done. I have a lot of mentors that inspire me. It's hard to do one. There's so many of them that I do. So all of my mentors is really inspiring as well.
I love that. If you can instantly learn one new skill, what would it be? Anything in the world.
One new skill.
Anything.
One new. I would love to just teleport.
Okay. Yeah,
Would
valid.
be a cool one.
Yeah, that's valid.
So I could be here right now. I don't like to wait.
Okay. So
I don't like to wait. So I would let him go from here to point A to point B.
Okay, yeah, teleport. Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Favorite food spot in or around Syracuse?
I would have to say Possibilities is one of my favorite.
Okay, I still have to try that. I gotta
Yeah.
go. One word to describe Lemoyne.
Transformational.
Sorry, because we talked about it
I
yesterday.
know.
Yes,
You said it
I was
yesterday
looking for it.
too.
All right, all right. Okay,
Transformational. That's one.
okay. And if everyone from the Lemoyne community was listening right now, what would you want to say?
Don't be afraid to do something new. Put it, even if it looks like it's 10 feet in front of you and you can't accomplish it. Follow that dream. Try it. Um, there will be failures along the way, but you will succeed. And try new things is one of my advice. Try new things and give whatever burden you may have or struggle, give it to God and talk about it with Him, and things will succeed.
Nathan Hanzalik, thank you so much for a
Thank you,
beautiful
Isaiah.
conversation. This was amazing. I would definitely got to have you on again.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
for sure. And thank you for watching this week's episode of the Moyne Way Podcast. That is it for today. We want to give a huge thanks to LCTV for making this podcast possible here in the studio space, to the Carroll College of Arts and Sciences, to the Grace Center, and also to Put God's First, whose support also helps to make this podcast run each and every week. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Grace Center and LCTV in the links below so you never miss an episode. And I will see you next week.